Dan Lightfoot, our executive producer here in studio. It is another beautiful day coming to you live from 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. The Danny Kadota Show. What's up, Danny?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh my God.
You get to that age, you get to that point. Oh my God. No, we've just been doing a lot of family stuff here recently.
Yeah.
With the kids, grandkids. We had like a reunion at my brother's house the other day, and the clan came in from all over the country, so we had a blast. So my head's about the furthest from fishing, other than I did have to make my ceviche plate.
Oh, did you?
I did.
That you described last
the
week.
Yellowtail.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the Michael McDonald special.
Yeah, excellent.
So that was it. So we had a blast. We had a blast seeing everybody.
Well, we're going to talk a lot about fishing, take your questions. I'm all tuned up on what's going on. Those bluefin have given us the slip again. We'll hope that they're going to show up. There's some tremendous white sea bass fishing going on south of the border. We've been seeing some really good stuff also. Just remind you all to hit that like button, share these videos everywhere. Make sure you subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. And you can also tick that rotten, filthy, disgusting, deplorable little bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. And finally, you can follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Man, I'm dragging. I'm doing 18-hour days because of the fair. It's just killing me, man. And then in the middle of all this, I get a guy who called. Well, he's my wife's immigration lawyer, George Feldman. And George calls me on Friday and says, Phil, I don't know if you can pull this off, but if anybody can pull this off, it's you. The pastor of the orphanage that George, when we go to Mexico, he'll go to buy $500 worth of stuff and go to this orphanage.
Yeah.
His father died. They need to spread his ashes on Saturday morning. This was Thursday, I think, or Friday. I can't remember. I believe it was Thursday. And out of Ensenada, what can you do? And I go, give me a second. So I called Paulina. I called her mom. Her mom said, no problem. We got a boat for you. I said, how much are you going to need for that? She said, it's on us. Don't worry about it.
Wow, that's awesome.
So the pastor of the order, we got
awesome.
that. And George goes, who in the hell on the face of this earth can you call like 48 hours and need a boat in Ensenada, Mexico, and you come up with it? So I felt good.
Perfect.
Because he
That's
took
great.
care of Ruth, my wife, when he did her immigration
That's
stuff.
so cool.
It was great. Really good stuff. All right, you want me to read a couple comments?
Yeah,
Then
go
we'll
for
get
it, go
into
for
this
it. Yeah,
fishing.
sure, absolutely.
I can see Jeff Lingle is with us, so he's out on the water. He's just finished up a 4-day trip. We'll get some intel from Jeff about weather and so much more. Let's start with, wait a minute, I got to bump this up a little bit. Christian was on here, and he absolutely adores the show. Jeff Lingle saying hello. And Chuck Zimmer from Z Custom Rods. Z Custom Rods. One more time. I get a buck every time.
How you doing, Chuck?
Z Custom Rods. He says, feeling refreshed and looking forward to a great show tonight. Chuck, man, it's been too long. I miss you. We're going to get together, and I think we're having our next big raffle on August the 11th right here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Looking forward to that. Dirts, are you guys going fishing? Are you going fishing anytime soon?
I haven't thought about it yet.
I know,
Yeah,
right? This guy, Jim Valenzuela, is going fishing on the Amigo on a 2.5
There
day
you go.
trip.
You're going to be in them.
My next trip is going to be, let me think about this now. Well, I might do something in Mexico, but September 23rd for sure. I have a 2-day out of San Diego. Then I'm on the Amigo for a 2-day in October, and then I'm on the Independence for an 8-day in November.
As much as I'm thinking about the fishing, I got to have, there's a dose of reality. I went in a week ago for x-rays and CAT scans and the whole deal on my shoulder. And I talked to the surgeon, and he said, well, here's the deal. He says, you want to fish again? He says, you're bone on bone. And that explains why the last 2 trips, my Bay of LA and the angler trip, I fished, but I was in unbelievable pain. And so to get the replacement, I had the consulting with the doctor. And what they're going to do is they'll put, it's going to be titanium, and I think it's almost like a Teflon or something that they implement, and they put that in there because he says if you don't fish, you're fine. You don't need the surgery.
Oh, okay.
So that was a tough one to
Yeah, right.
make a decision on. So I says no, we're going to cut. We're going to do it. And I got to get back on the water because without that, Phil, even at my age, I still want to pull on them.
Yeah.
And you know how stupid I am when it gets to when I get a rod on it. I won't put it down too much, unless there's kids, and I'll hook and hand to them.
Yeah,
I love
right.
doing that. But it's just been built in. I mean, same thing.
Let me screw with your mic there.
Yeah.
Todd Wood
Is it
says
not
he
coming?
can't hear you that well.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Oh, you should
There
be
you go.
fine.
Okay, how about now, Todd?
Anybody else having problems
Hey,
out
good.
there? Todd, maybe
Can
you
you
got
hear
to
me
check your hearing aid. There's two sides to this, right?
That's true. You never know. You never know.
So go ahead. Yeah.
No, so anyway, yeah. So the decision is cut.
Yeah.
Get me cut, get me going, because I want to get.
Yeah, you might as well, right?
But I'm gonna, exactly, because I'm gonna tell them if I croak on a boat, all you got to do is spare my family. Just throw me over.
Yeah,
Put a
right.
couple, sash weights on and whatever, and let me go, and I'll be happy.
You're killing me, man. I mean, same thing here. I have you know what? I didn't even know what I had. This Thursday I thought it was surgery, actually.
Oh,
But
jeez.
I'm so busy. I just did the blood work, answered the dumb questions. I'm not allergic to anything.
Yeah.
And then, so I finally went to my GP because he had to do an EKG. And he said, "Oh, you're great, man. You're all set." And I go, "Hey, doc, is this surgery? What is this?" And he goes, "Oh, let me look." So he looks and he goes, "Oh, no, they're going to shove a camera down your throat. I forget what they call that. And they're going to check out because I have a little thing going on with my esophagus." And so I go, "Oh, well, do you think I will be okay like a few hours after that?" And he goes, "Yeah, you should be fine." I'm okay, I'll work the fair then. Go ahead and let him shove a camera down my throat.
This is what, a fiber optic tube?
I think so. Yeah.
Well,
I don't
that's
think
good.
it's any big deal.
That's good.
So yeah, I mean, you get old, you get all these weird things going on, right? It's too much.
Yeah.
Jeff Lingo says, "Hi Chuck, I'll donate to the raffle when I get to the boat." Jeff is already in, and he doesn't even know what's in the raffle because Jeff is a great supporter of Friedman Adventures. And Jeff, man, this guy, he runs a yacht. We don't talk about the name of the yacht or anything because he has people who are credentialed with the government, like really important people.
Yeah.
So, where he's running and what he's doing, I don't really, but he's a source, a fountain of information.
Oh, that's awesome.
Man, he's always sharing. He had a great 4-day trip recently. Limits of bluefin. He had a 165-pounder and some
nice.
other fish. So
Nice.
that was really, really good. Daphne is with us, who is a lovely person. I got to fish with her the other night on a twilight trip. And she says, "Hello, Donnie Thorpe." Donnie, this might be a question for Tackle Shop Confessions, but maybe Danny knows. Here we go. What do you think about Okuma Custom 80 to 130 pound rod with a Penn International 20 Visix 2-speed? Is that a good setup for tuna?
You're absolutely right. Give that to Sammy.
Hey, Donnie.
Because I grew up with Gilumbus,
Yeah.
Shimano's,
Donnie,
before
sometimes
that, Leon,
us old timers, we don't stay up
And
on all the
Pens.
numbers and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Sam knows that like the back of his hand. He'll be here at 6 p.m. tonight. We'll be at Island Fishing Tackle. And that show is tailor-made for you, Donnie, because Sam can actually go get that rod, go get that reel, and show it to you. Once you hit over like 3 numbers with me, it's a Penn 2161. My eyes glaze over. I refuse to read it anymore. I make Sam read it. No more. Especially working the fair right now. I'm ready to go, shoot up something after a question like that. So, hey, Donnie, we appreciate the question, but unfortunately, Danny and I are not equipped intellectually to handle that one.
Yeah.
Daphne, I can handle this question. I'm sure so can Danny. Daphne says, "Good afternoon, Phil and Captain Danny. Got a question about Morro Bay fishing. I'm going to be fishing the Black Pearls Sunday. It's a half-day trip. Would that be a rockfish and lingcod trip?" And my answer is absolutely yes, it will be, unless something else happens up there. But they've been having, Daphne, some excellent cod fishing. Even on their half-day trips up there, you get a lot of big quality boccaccio and reds and really nice lingcod fishing. Fishing up there, I think, just because less pressure is so good. What do you think?
Yeah, it's just it's so much more relaxing when you get above Conception. For some reason, it all changes, and the water changes. There's certain fish you don't get above Conception. Vice versa.
Yeah, right.
It's just a whole different thing. But the coding is phenomenal up there.
Oh, my God.
In my experience up there has always been late in the fall when we would take the stern off the boat and put the rack on, go
albacore fishing.
But we were fishing way offshore, and fishing the banks offshore from there up to San Francisco.
How long was that season for you normally? A month or so?
Maybe a month. We let my crew get their yayas out, I mean, because we didn't let the crew fish. We hooked and handed during the season. But we didn't, we did anything, we handed to the passengers on the boat. So I didn't let them fish. So, we'd get even at the end of the year. We'd go up and commercial fish and, put the rack on, put your hip waders on. And
so are you winging those fish when they come on board?
You can. Hopefully they eat the squid, where they hit it and you just fling them on. But it was fun, but we got to make a little bit of fun money, but it was mainly because as fishermen, I didn't allow the crew to fish. We hooked and handed for the passengers, but we didn't fish and put on fish.
Right.
And so, it was our time to actually get serious with it. And that was
yeah, these guys probably look forward to that all year long.
Absolutely, because when you get them on the pole, that's really, I hate to say this, I don't want to get all the guys all fired up, but it's really one of the things that is the ultimate.
Oh, heck yeah.
Right? Just, line, hook.
It's so bitchin'. It's so fun, isn't it?
You get so amped up. You start pulling on fish, you're throwing them on.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you're going, oh, jeez. I wonder if I pulled any muscles. But, your whole body feels sprained. But it's worth it.
Let me ask you a few questions about that. So how many days were you out at a time?
Oh, we'd be out there for 5-6 days.
Oh, okay.
Because we're carrying fuel. You're not running around, going in and out, so you're not burning the fuel. So, and then when albacore fishing, when you're trolling, you're only going 5-6 knots.
Yeah, right.
You're not burning any fuel.
Right.
And just with the crew, we just, whatever we had, you fill the freezers up with food and, run out there and whatever our bait tanks would accommodate too, So that's what constrained us on the amount of time that we're out there.
Yeah. And what would you consider a successful trip? Like 3 tons or?
Yeah, 2.5. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. And it's fun. But it was more to let my crew, which you got to understand, all the crew members that are at any landing here in California, we all do it because we love to fish, and it's tough because down there, we have excellent groups, great fishermen, and then we have some, that
need help.
Oh yeah, we have some company charters that they've never fished before at all. They're all rent rods, and then it's great because then the crew can go back there and hook and hand to them, and you follow them around, and that's rewarding too. But our Sharpies, mainly all we'd ever do was gaff.
Yeah.
Gaff
Right.
fishing,
Right.
throw bait, So at the end of the season, being that fishing's such a big part of us, that's where our heart's at, folks, and that's why we do it. Because there's no amount of money, and I'm going to tell you this for a fact, there's no amount of money that you can pay the crew members that stay up 20 hours a day if they didn't love doing what they're doing to do that job. And we do it because we love fishing, and we have a lot of our groups, we know the people, it's very personal with them. And it's our love of fishing that allows us to go the 9 yards.
Yeah, right.
So.
And there's nothing worse. I mean, I don't see it on San Diego based boats really, but going back into when I was working on the local boats, you'd have a deckhand who was fishing the whole time.
Oh yeah, they were making what they call side money.
Howard Warbase has passed away, so I can say this. Yeah. Howard was a deckhand when I was a kid on the Redondo Special. I became a deckhand on there. Well, I became a pendant when I was 12, and then I finally, second deck, first deck. But Howard, I mean, he'd just be in the corner throwing a jig, and if somebody needed a gaff, maybe he'd go over there and gaff it. And
there's a name for that. Deadheads.
Yeah. Except Howard was on the payroll, he was filleting fish on the way home.
Yeah, it was different.
But there were times when crew guys fished, and nothing will put a paying passenger off more than that.
That's right.
Right?
That's why, the operations had to adapt and change.
Yes.
It had to be about customer service.
Yes.
Change.
100%.
Yeah.
Even though those were funny days.
Oh, they were. Everything was different. And we all evolved.
Yeah, I mean, those characters, man.
Yeah.
Howard was one of them. Howard took my brother Paul and I to the horse races one time, and my brother, a pigeon, got him on the head. And then in the next race, Howard laughs and he goes, "Look, bird brain." this horse. And we laugh. And that horse went off at 50-1, paid 100-something to
You
win.
didn't have $2
We
on
didn't
it?
have anything on it, man. And Howard goes, that bird was trying to tell you something.
Exactly. He gave you the inside.
Hey, everybody, thanks so much. We got a lot of questions here. People enjoying the Danny Kadota show. And who wouldn't? Maybe Dan Lightfoot out there. But everybody else is having a good time.
Now, Mikey hasn't been bit yet? He was
Yeah,
checking.
what's up?
Keeping up with the fish count out there.
He hasn't been bit. They didn't want to bite.
Holy.
Hey, everybody, we got Michael Limon fishing out there. So
yeah.
he'll be in here with a fish for you guys in just a little bit. I am hoping. Let me go back here because we have so many questions. It's getting crazy. Let's see. Daphne said, I haven't fished there, so I'm not too sure what we would be targeting. Yeah, that's what you're going to be targeting for sure, Daphne. No question about it. They're famous for big cod, Daphne says. The Maxter, Mackie, hopefully we'll see you over at Sam's. Todd Woods says he can hear a little bit better now. And Daphne says, I heard about those big fish. Better start lifting now, Mackie said. She's got to start hitting the gym and preparing for these big cod. Where's the
There you
fish?
go.
Michael Limon. Michael Limon is looking at me with a blank stare on his face.
Usually
Come
he's
on.
running back and forth.
You can't catch him unless you got
Keeping
your
up with
line
your
in the
fish count.
water, dude.
I do got my line in the water.
Oh, you
he
do?
does have his line in the water, but he's
You
not
got
watching it.
on auto pull, huh?
Yeah.
David Bitroy says, hello, Phil. And Danny, best of luck on your procedure, Danny. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I mean, nothing depresses me more than no fishing, you know. And when the doctor looked at me and said, well, here's your choice. I said, well, there's no choice. We're going to replace it. I care less. He says, well, you don't need it if you're not going to fish. Well, I said, well, I'm not going to fish. Forget it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Mackie, your phone. Oh, that's not me.
That was me.
Danny.
I'm sorry.
Should know better.
I'm sorry, folks.
Should know better.
These stupid things. We're so.
I know. I didn't yell at you. I'm being nice today.
There.
Mackie wants to know if he
Done.
can come and record my procedure when they shove the camera down my throat. To which I say, abso-freaking-lutely, Mackie. I haven't even checked if I got to have a driver when I get out of there. You know how sometimes you got to have somebody drive you? So, yeah, Mackie, you can drive me too. Or at least sit there and, pretend like you're driving me, whatever it takes.
He's an Uber driver.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that amazing? We got a fishing show going. Just talking about that. I'm talking about getting my shoulder redone, with titanium and the synthetic.
They
deal.
want to do mine.
And it's always where's the fishing show? But this is what happens when you get old.
Yeah, I know. This is
fish.
becoming one of those
Yeah,
pathetic,
yeah.
like we're sitting in a rest
We're
home.
giving you all medical
my back
advice now.
Yeah, oh my God, my back
How
is killing
pathetic
me.
is that?
Yeah, it's getting bad. We better get back to fishing.
Yeah, let's go.
People are
Let's
tuning out right now. Like, these guys talk about their knee or back one more time. I'm out of here. All right, Donnie says he's going to check out. I think Donnie, go over there to Tackle Shop Confessions tonight. Tailor made for you. And yes, Lingzilla's up there in Morro Bay. Daphne, I hope you have a great time and get me some great photos. She says it reminds her of sand dab fishing. Deep drops with a full hookup with 2-pound weights, which beckons back to the good old days when we used to fish 25 hooks
Oh, my
on Tanner
God.
Cortez,
Yeah,
or even
yeah.
like Freedom Rock
Oh,
off the west end of
absolutely.
Catalina, 14 Mile
Absolutely.
Bank. Those were the days, man,
They
when
were
that
good.
canyon would float up. It'd be so beautiful, right?
They would, yeah. You couldn't even keep up with winding
I know.
because our gear ratios on those 9/0s and 10/0s were so slow.
Bringing up a 6-pound
Yeah.
weight.
Yep.
And they would float it. They would just go bloop, bloop, and there's this line of orange. It was unbelievable.
God, I love that,
Yeah, that was
man.
fun.
That was
That was
so
fun.
much
That was fun
fun.
back
You know, we were commercial fishing, my brother and I, out
Yeah.
on Tanner Cortez.
That was
and-
our Christmas money.
Yeah.
Before Christmas, yeah.
That was-
Because the consumers are most of our sport fishermen would rock cod fish. We had a certain amount of groups that did. But, most of them, my guys were all calico, tuna guys. So it was more, sport fishing in Catalina and Clemente.
Yeah.
For the calicos and stuff during the wintertime. But we had a few cod groups.
You know, Danny, we were rock cutting out on Tanner Cortez, and what I think San Diego back in those days on the VHF was on 67. Does that sound?
67, 69.
Yeah, 69 up here a lot.
Yeah.
60, and we'd be rock cod fishing, and we'd hear, "Yeah, I got a jig and 4 bait fish." Then we'd hear, "Yeah, I just came out of that one for 50." And I go, "Where are these guys, man?" And then we'd figure, I'd call somebody, and I go, "What do you think?" And my brother would go, "Yeah, let's go." then we'd run down and troll and start catching albies,
Sure,
a few
sure,
albies.
sure.
Probably screwed ourselves
Sure.
because you make more money on that rock. But same thing. We're
I know.
dying to catch like something that pulls.
Sure,
too.
absolutely.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
those are fun times, man. Todd Wood says someone needs to make a movie about fishing charters. I'll step right up and do that. Angle R. David Rosenthal says, good afternoon, Angle R pliers, everybody. Make sure you check them out. They are the very best. Thanks for being here, David Roberts. Slagers, Danny, you will be lift poling 200 pounders with your new shoulder. This
Yeah.
Robert has-
and two or three guys hooked up to the connections on our lift poles.
Oh, come on. You need a 3-pole for those things?
200,
You can do it.
No, 200. 200, you're not throwing it on. You're gonna,
That's a big
you're
one,
gonna,
yeah.
You're gonna hook it and then have the guys gaff it.
What's the biggest fish you've ever bounced?
Oh, most of those things are probably maybe in the 60-pound class.
You bounce
Something.
those?
Yeah.
I mean,
You
not
can throw 'em.
lift pole,
You
a
can
rod
throw
and
'em.
reel.
Oh, rod and reel.
Yeah, not lift pole.
No, not too much on the rod and reel.
Yeah, but you
It's real
bounce
dangerous.
20-pound yellows and stuff.
Yeah, but nothing that, the bigger stuff is
Yeah.
really commercial fishing. and stuff.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's great. All right. Mackie says, Danny, is your new shoulder going to be Daiwa, Shimano, or Avid? Boy, everybody's on you about that. Good question,
Well,
Mackie.
I hope it's going to be accurate. And I
No
do
pun
fish accurate
intended.
too, yeah. But I do fish accurate. But no, I mean it in both the dual meaning, because I do want it fitting good and then getting back to I can fish again. That's the whole intent.
Yeah, exactly. Good stuff. Jolene Thompson. Hey, Jolene. It's great to have you with us here today. Hello, Phil. Danny, the ocean will not be the same because I'm going on an all-girls day-and-a-half trip on the Legend this Friday night. So wish us luck. 27 ladies are going to be out there fishing. That's going to be fantastic.
That's awesome.
We not
Go
only
get them, ladies.
we not only wish you luck,
Knock
we
'em
send
down.
our blessings, and really, you guys don't need any luck because you are outstanding anglers. I can't wait to hear all about that, and I hope I get some video, Jolene, because that would be absolutely fantastic. Jeff Lingle's remembering back on Cherry Bank floating 25 fish at a time. I like Cherry, too. That was
it
a
was
fun.
fun.
You remember the 70-90 bank?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
think I fished cod out there ever, but
You have to have the
albacore.
numbers on it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But Cherry, we fished a lot.
Yeah.
My brother came down because Bob Gifford passed away. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Bob passed away. Again, our thoughts and prayers with the family.
yeah.
So he came down to see Bob. Unfortunately, Bob died while he was in the air coming down.
Oh, jeez.
But my brother and I, and one funny memory, I'd forgotten about it, was we'd fish Cherry Bank, and then we'd come into Nicholas to anchor and get out of the weather and get some rest. And we'd throw out a bait for soup fin sharks because we could commercially sell those things, And there's some big soup fins in there. So you throw out the bait, and then you're friggin' exhausted. You know how commercial fishing
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
You're exhausted. So inevitably, like 2 o'clock in the morning, you hear the clicker going, and I go, Paul, you get it. And he goes, no, you get it. And we're arguing and so we wind in this 6-foot soup fin, put it on the deck. I go, do not freaking throw that out again. We'd be arguing about it, but oh my God.
Sleep
what
well.
a rude awakening that was.
That definitely helps when you're commercial fishing. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Jolene says the last time I was on the Legend was in the late 80s with Joel Ralston. You probably know Joel,
Oh, my
right?
God, yeah.
As captain, we loaded up on the yellowfin tuna. You remember Joel?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, the Legend.
Absolutely.
That's a heck of a boat, isn't it? They do a great job on there.
Yep.
Mackie is laughing out loud, and Robert Graver says, good afternoon, Phil, Danny, and the Friedman Adventure family fanatics. Happy Danny Kadota Show Monday. Always great to have you with us, Robert. Well, Danny, right out here, and I don't think he's here. Is the Freedom here now? He's out,
Yeah,
right?
he's here.
Oh, he's here. Had 120 white sea bass the other day. $1.20.
Unbelievable.
And I believe he caught that in an hour. Can you imagine how wide open that was?
I've been seeing the pictures. I've been seeing pictures posted, with
Yeah.
guys holding them up. They're all nice fish. But holy smokes.
I mean,
Nice to see the comeback. on those
scores
things,
like that are just mind-boggling. To me, I don't think I'll ever get used to it because I lived through so many years where you wouldn't even see one of those things.
Yeah. Oh, it was rare. I mean, that was boy, what a rare treat to have a sea bass bite.
Yeah, right?
Back in the 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, man, I mean, we're seeing scores like this. Then you look at the El Dorado out of Long Beach, and the other day they had 33 bluefin tuna, or no, they had limits of bluefin tuna, 35 white sea bass, a bunch of halibut to go along with that. And I think they had some yellows to go along with that. That's incredible. I mean, bluefin, sea bass,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Anytime you start
that
mixing
mix
the offshore, yeah, right?
With
That's-
island fish.
Yes,
Yeah, that's great fish.
that's pretty special, right?
yeah. How do you beat that diversity?
I know.
You don't.
I know.
it's, you know.
I know, because when we went offshore, when you went on the Mustang, you
You're
weren't
fishing
going to go
tuna,
fishing
you're
for
fishing
halibut.
tuna, or you're going to fish yellowtail and the sea bass, something
Yeah.
that's island bound.
Right.
As opposed to, pelagic. So
Absolutely. Fantastic
Yeah.
fishing going on. However, and I haven't really looked into this, I've been out with my wife all day, so I wasn't peeking at my phone to see if the bluefin had been relocated. But there was a lot of guys struggling the last 24 to 48 hours like that. That bluefin gave them the slip after biting full speed, wide open, really, really good. What do you think? Temporary, or is it the end of the season?
They don't bite every. I mean, they have their down days, and we've contended with that all our lives.
Yeah, especially
So it's
BFT, right?
Yeah, and it could be time of day.
Yeah.
And you have to hit that right too. So there's a lot of different factors that are involved in it. So you could just be off the fish.
Yep.
Could have made a move.
Yep.
So
There he is.
getting
Look at
that
his
coverage-
hair.
Hey, what's happening?
Pull up a chair, Todd, if you want. Todd Woods is here. We're going to invite him to sit in here with us. He's the one giving you the big hassle about you not sounding good on the microphone.
Speak up, man. Speak up.
Man, I'm going to change my microphone now, so I'll put it
Hey
on
Todd, I love that shirt. Hey, is Rick?
Can you
Rick
see
still
him
involved?
okay?
Is Rick still active?
you. Okay, good.
How about that?
I'm going to put this on you.
There you go.
I've been dying to put my hand in your shirt all day.
Me too.
Oh, I got this all screwed up. There we go.
We just went X-rated.
Yeah, right. There we go. I think we're good.
All right.
I hope everybody can hear us. Todd, good to see you, man.
Good to see you guys.
doing?
Yeah, how
Man.
you been, Todd?
My boat's stored right up the hill right now, and I took it from English Marine to bring it over, and I'm listening to you guys. I'm like, I gotta stop by.
Yeah, heck
Oh,
yeah.
man, it'd take us 10 minutes to get that, at that speed.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. Hey, if you got a question for Danny or Todd, Todd's our expert. Well, both these guys are bass guys, freshwater bass guys.
Going to the Mission Bell on this Saturday.
Oh,
so,
shoot, very
yeah,
good.
Yeah, there might be room. I don't know if anybody in the San Diego area, there might be room.
Is that with the
One dare.
whatever the mafia guys or
It's with Rod Wynn, or Rod Wynn's brother Reggie. Yeah,
I think they're the Mission Bell Mafia. I think they
Yeah.
call themselves. Yeah,
yeah, maybe.
yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to get some tips.
Oh, sure.
there
How are we
you
gonna
go.
catch them? Somebody tell me how am I
A
gonna
rod
catch them?
tip or what? What do you want?
Yellowtail or bluefin? What's gonna be biting? What do you
Well,
think?
you know what? The San Diego's been anchoring up there at the islands, and they've had 2 days at least where they caught like 30-something bluefin on the anchor with the yellow.
Yeah.
on the
That's amazing.
anchor. Oh
Yeah,
my
that's amazing.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's-
At the island.
That is good fishing.
would be
That's
awesome.
awesome.
No,
right?
that's great fishing.
Wow.
And you don't have that running time. Man, you're
Yeah,
out there in no
you're right
time.
there, huh?
Being back,
So yeah, that's been going on surface iron. 25-pound fluoro, I know, has been working well. I've talked to several guys who've been out recently. I think you're in for a good day. The only downside to a Saturday is, can you guess?
Crowd.
Yeah,
The pots.
the boat
Yeah.
pressure's
The
going to
pots.
be. It's been
Absolutely.
horrendous.
Yeah. I'll go down to 10-pound test with that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. You'll hook a lot. May not catch any, but you'll get bit like full speed, man. So that'll be good, man. I'm happy for you doing that because that's
Yeah.
going to be a fun trip.
Definitely. One of the guys was mentioning, and I know you know the answer to this, and you can tell us about it, is the Alka-Seltzer trick. Have you ever heard of the Alka-Seltzer trick?
I did not ever
Never did that?
subscribe to any. Yeah.
What is it?
Well,
Yeah.
so I guess they're having bait problems, right, with the sardines,
Yeah.
and they're getting very small, what they call pinheads, which is the
Yeah.
small anchovies,
Yeah.
and they're hard to cast, right? So I guess to get the weight, supposedly you take a pill or something and you smash
some
it.
weight on it.
Yeah, and then when you throw it out,
It dissolves.
It dissolves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought for sure.
I like that.
Yeah,
I don't
you know.
think I've ever heard that one before.
Yeah.
It's generally lighter line. it's going to get you the cast. You know, but you got to match
Like
it to the
25
size
pound
of the
test,
fish.
right? That's
or
like-
less, yeah,
or less,
or
yeah.
less, and longer rod.
Yeah.
You know, and your reel has to be really dialed in. I mean, my stuff was, you know, you flick it and it would spin forever. But I mean, we tricked them out.
That flicking thing, to explain that, because that's the other thing there, you know, like, I guess the anchovy will run if it's got the little tension on the deal. Can you talk about that?
If it's complacent, it just sits there. You just backpedal it a little bit. It's
Okay.
in free spool, and you have your finger there anyway to keep it from backlashing if you get nailed. So that's the one thing. You're flicking it back, and it'll a lot of times get them to shoot out. And it's just that quick shot. And usually, if it takes off, if there's one nearby, you get hammered, and you got to keep your thumb there because otherwise it'll, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and so you know just kick it in gear.
They
But
say
yeah,
the
so
number
rod
one
and
thing is the fresh bait, you know, when you're fishing bait. You know,
gotta-
they always say that, every
You have
boat.
to change your bait.
Yeah.
Check your placement. You can do, you know, there's nose hooking, butt hooking. I've been back hooking baits
Okay.
recently, you know, like on our Freedom trip.
Yeah.
You know, I over the years, that was one of the less frequent ways I've ever hooked baits, but it was
Back
really
hooking, yeah.
been very effective. So there's different things you have to trade. But when you dial it in and you get it going, that's not luck. It's the guy that's figuring it out first. So you just keep an eye on the guys that, you know, if they're doing something right, it's generally not luck.
That's my favorite thing. I'm always
watch
looking
it.
for the guy that's
That's it.
catching
Lot of-
more
we learned
fish
that,
and get
right?
it. Oh,
Bass fishing, all
Yeah.
our fishing. I mean,
Every
you
time,
learn by
yeah.
watching. You got to keep abreast.
got to put
of
chartreuse
everything
tail on the tail. You
That's
know,
it.
you got to put some scent on it. You got to use lighter line. You got to use a smaller hook.
Whatever you, yeah. You know, it's any type of fishing. It's getting that edge, giving you that little edge, you know, and that's huge, you know. But that has to do with the homework and everything else. You know, get some inside information from some of the guys.
Absolutely.
Some of the guys on the boats, maybe. You
I
know,
personally,
Yeah.
if there's like even if the bait was great, I'd be up in the bow with a Tatty 45.
Yeah.
You're just firing, and of course paying attention to a bird that dips or someone bird dips like that. Man, I'd fire that jig right on that. I would be all over that. If you can make a long cast, you got a nice 10-foot rod,
Yeah.
or something a little shorter than that, I guess. Man, those fish are eating the iron. You don't have to go to the bait tank.
Yeah.
You're just constantly firing, and so I think your odds go up if you know how to fish the iron.
Todd's odds are going to go up anyway because he knows how to fish lighter line.
Yes.
And that's what our edge was.
Yeah.
You know, because I bass fish, trout, you know, so fishing, having the ability to throw the lighter line and hook the bigger fish and land them on lighter line, you know, that's something that you'll have an edge on too.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm sure all you know, if you take a bass reel and throw a chovy or a sardine and maybe one of the little bigger ones, as opposed to a conventional reel, a lot of times you're going to have an edge. You know,
I'm
you're
always
gonna get a
amazed
longer
at the
cast.
guys that ocean fish over and over and over again and can't cast. You know,
Yeah,
they
well-
flick and, you know, or drop it straight down.
It's
Yeah.
practice. Sometimes it's bait placement where you have it hooked. You know, could be the back fin, the nose, could be the butt. You know, I mean, the lower collar.
There's another guy
But
with
yeah,
his phone
yeah,
on.
no, but it's figuring it out. I mean, you know that.
Watch phones can't,
Yeah,
you know.
and being a bass
Airplane
fisherman,
mode.
yeah, you're on it.
Yell at me.
I heard. No, I heard. I
I'll
was
yell
trying.
at him. Todd, maybe I don't get much sleep, so I'm going to yell at you too.
You got a good ear. See, you're right. I am hard of hearing. You heard that? I'm like, I can feel it vibrating. You heard that? You're good.
I love it. Hey, Todd Woods, Danny Kadota, we're having a great show and a lot of fun. If you'd like to ask a question, please do. I see some stuff for Todd coming up here in a second. Mackie, if your question is about anything that happened over 30 seconds ago, I am so brain dead from no sleep for a month that I may not know. Did the passengers just start bouncing them? What's that about, Dan? Bouncing.
The white sea bass when you're.
Oh, the white sea on the Freedom. Thank you,
Yeah.
Dan. See, Dan tuned us up.
There you go.
Maybe, some of those smaller fish you could definitely bounce. I put a video up earlier this year of Tucker McCombs bouncing like a 25-pound sea bass, which is so bitchin' if you get a chance to do it.
That's pushing it.
Yeah,
You
that's
gotta have
right
you
there.
definitely have the right tackle, and you have to make sure that you do that release. You know, as it starts going over the rail, you already got it out of gear.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise, if it comes down, there goes your stick.
Yeah, Todd, you
tip a
bounced
lot
a
of times.
25-pound yellow on the Mission Bell this Saturday. It's all up
You know,
to you.
I'll have the GoPro going, so
Oh, cool.
yeah, I'll send the
Beautiful.
video when I do that.
Robert Graver says, I see some bluefin tuna showing up in the social media pics of guys up here in the 805 catching some bluefin tuna. Any idea how far they've pushed, or are our guys going south past Santa Barbara? So, Robert, I reported the other day, erroneously, I haven't admitted to this, but I'll pour my heart and soul out to you. I thought, since I saw the gray light, he leaves in the morning out of Cisco's, and he had 5 guys and 10 bluefin, he probably caught him up there. But another source who's out on the water said, hey, I saw him down near Clemente. That's where he was. So I think he just made a long run down there. However, having said that, there's been some fish up there on Monterey, Robert. There's been fish way up north.
Wow.
So this spread is huge when you consider it's several hundred miles down the Baja coast, Tanner, Cortez, backside of Clemente, the Butterfly, up there toward Monterey. There's just no shortage of fish.
Wow.
They're just so fickle. Some days they bite, Todd. Some days they don't, Danny.
Oh boy,
They're a pain in the neck.
don't I know that?
You know?
You know, getting your dope every day, you know, from the fleet down there, it all changes. And what it comes down to, and somebody told me this a long, long time ago, and I thought he was being really facetious. He says, they are where you find them.
Yep.
And I go, oh, thanks a lot. You know, but I mean, but
Yeah.
it is true because it does change. It could be time of day, conditions. A lot of it's current related, you know, and time of day. And
Well, just like bass fishing.
exactly.
Fish swim.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
They
And,
swim.
you know, as well as you know, when I was fishing the trophy stuff, it was on the moon.
Yeah.
I did a lot of stuff on the moon, and I would fish every day because you could have a blank on one day and not get a bite, and the next day,
Yeah, absolutely.
bingo,
Yeah.
you're in them. Get a couple
That's the
of
beauty.
big boys.
You don't want to go
Yeah.
on one trip a year because that might be the worst trip of your life,
Yeah,
or it could be the best trip of your life, but you
absolutely.
know, or somewhere in between. You know, I've told you guys before, I go on a Tony race every year, and this was my third trip, and this trip, I mean, came back with a ton of fillets
Yeah.
and everything.
But it's fishing, right?
Yeah, you know, it's
Yeah.
just kind of the way it goes.
exactly.
All right, back to some more interesting questions here. Todd Wood says he needs some Friedman Adventures merch.
I didn't
Came
say
to the right place.
I said Freeman. I didn't say
Freeman.
free. I brought my wallet. So.
Oh man!
Oh, I was going to say, I
That's
want
a
it
good
free,
thing.
man.
I want it free, man.
Now no problem, Todd.
Oh, good.
We'll load your car up.
How do I get on that? Do I have to wear a dress? Get on that all ladies?
Yes. Yeah. You just say you're a woman. I mean,
right.
you're in. I think, right?
Is that how that this works? whole woke
You've
thing,
seen Phil
right?
with a wig, haven't you? You've seen Phil with a
Yeah.
wig before. You know?
I think that's it.
It's them.
I did see him with a wig. Yeah,
I
you were in
actually
prison that day, weren't you?
Well, I was
Kinda,
in
sorta.
China, so yeah, kind of.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, the kids put a wig on me in China one time. So, yeah, I mean that's the way it works. Jolene, are you gonna if Todd puts on
Jolene.
a mini skirt and a wig? Is he welcome on the trip?
I'll even be your camera person.
See your
I'll bring
legs.
my camera.
Wow.
Shave him a little bit. You know?
Show's going down the tubes in a
I
hurry.
know. It started with a mic, and here we are.
Mackie wants to know if you bass guys, that's these two guys, can you tell Dan Lightfoot where to take us fishing? I guess they want to go freshwater bass fishing. Where should they go? And
Well,
look at Dan. You can tell that he probably has no idea what he's doing.
Right.
Pretty easy to, you know.
I took Michael and Dan to to Diamond Valley.
Oh,
at Diamond.
yeah, a little
Michael
Freudian
caught
slip there. Did
one or
I hear
two.
damn it?
Diamond
Diamond?
Valley. Yeah, that wasn't a
man.
slip. That wasn't a slip.
You think about
No.
Dan Lightfoot, damn it.
We had a great time, but I think the best part was my oven that I brought, and Michael was we actually made tater tots in my little
shit.
oven. Yeah,
On the boat?
On the boat.
Ooh.
Yes.
So
yes.
you smell that. and-
That made Michael happy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
You know, I got to fish that lake 5 times before they opened it. As they were
Ooh.
filling it, they had
That was
what
every
they don't
cast,
understand,
right?
They had, well, yeah, it was unbelievable. But
Yeah.
they had initially several different ponds, and as the water filled, they would start connecting up. But I can remember some of our best days were close to 300 fish.
Oh,
And
I'm sure.
And that's
I've
fishing a
heard that.
pontoon, so we didn't have
Oh,
trolling
my God.
boats just
Oh, my
drifting
God.
over areas, and it was unbelievable. But and nothing big.
Yeah.
But it was when the ponds would all start connecting up.
Yeah.
But it was ridiculous.
That's awesome.
So we were going to a fishing game and just doing the census part of it.
Yeah.
But it was phenomenal. Yeah.
Locally cast steak. Cast steak is loaded with. You'll catch a lot of. You won't catch any Danny Kadota size fish, but you'll catch a lot of bass there right now. A lot of bass.
That's
like
awesome.
30 or 40
There
or
you go.
50.
Oh, that's good fishing.
Yeah.
Damn, that's great. All right,
good.
Susan Sosa joins us. Susan, always great to see you. Hello, Phil, Danny, and Todd. I'm going on a 3-day trip on the Searcher, August the 18th. What rod reel combos would you say are the best to take? So you're gonna need something heavy.
You're gonna
need
need
something
something
with
heavy.
80 to fish jigs at night. You're gonna need something like a 50-pound outfit, I would say, right?
Oh, sure.
You know,
Yeah,
you can
50,
sink or rig
something.
fish with that. And then I think you need something like 25, 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Something like that. And you should be in really good shape.
Have a
Susan.
spread.
Yeah.
Have enough spread, because if it gets touchy, you'll have something to, say a 25-pound rod or something. You could also splice down in 15 if you had to, probably, and you can go up a little bit to 30 or so. But yeah, have a range. I take, I take the kitchen sink, because it's going to be the one time you're going to get into a bite and you're going to ascertain that, God, they'll eat 30 or they'll eat 40. And it gets to be one line or whatever it is. And to have that tool in your toolbox. See, it's silly for me, as much tackle as I've had, not to have the right, it'd be like a mechanic. You come out there and you have a 1/2 inch, 3/4, but it's, it's a 7/16. Well, it's not going to work, So
Yeah.
to have every part of that arsenal matched up exactly to a specific line, for me, was important. And they thought it was overkill, but on those days when it's touchy, it pays off.
If
It
you're
really
on a
pays off.
budget,
Yeah.
make sure you bring some bulk spools of Berkeley big game braided line, like in 60, 50, 65, and 80 pound. That way you can spool it up, and then you can put a top shot short
shot.
leader.
That's it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And, because some
That's it.
people
It
can't
becomes
afford to
versatile.
bring 20 rods.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tons of questions, tons of people watching. We appreciate you all so very, very much. We are live at beautiful 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California, where the Freedom had 120 white sea bass just a few days ago. The Migo had limits of sea bass. They had 60. It's been really incredible fishing. Breaking news from our friend Jeff Lingle. Guys got 8 to 25 pound bluefin tuna on the upper 500 today. Pretty wide open, says Jeff. I love you, man. You're writing my morning briefing early for me here this evening. Damn it, Frank. That's the guy's handle. Okay?
it,
I'm
Frank.
not-
I love
I'm
it. I love
it's not
that.
I'm cussing Frank.
Damn it, Frank.
I like Frank. Damn it, Frank. You're back again. Damn it, Frank. Hooking the anchovy tips. He needs a tip. Guy said gill hook on the Freedom last week, but his bait kept popping off. Just got to make sure you got it in there.
Lower collar.
Yeah, there you go.
It'll swim down and away.
So there's a
do it,
fin
yeah.
there, Danny. You're talking
Yeah.
about hooking it below that
Yeah.
fin?
Yeah. Just lower
All right, there's a
collar.
fin down
You bring it
there.
in behind the collar, but down lower. And to me, most of my baits will go down and away.
There you go.
And that's what it takes.
Damn it, Frank. There's your answer.
Damn it, Frank. You got it.
Jeff Lingle. Clump of smashed bread above the hook with a number 4 on a pinhead. Gets it out well, and the dough falls right off. There you go. That's a good one. I like that too. That's really good.
It is. I've
Those are
never
really
done that.
good tips. Darn it, Jeff. And then the blue perch come out and eat the bread.
Yeah.
Even when they're offshore, man. They just magically appear.
Was it sourdough or wheat? Or
Yeah,
anything
really.
particular?
Sam De La Torre from Island Fishing Tackle in beautiful Carson, California. Well, we will be live tonight at 6 p.m. Small hooks, cold snipers, light line, poppers, stick baits. There are always many ways to make it happen. Sam, it was great seeing you and your family at the OC Fair. Really loved it. He also says rubber core sinkers, egg sinkers are also should be part of your arsenal. See you in just a little bit, Sam. That should be fun tonight. Michael Limon is waiting for, guess what? Another great show? No. Some great fishing information? No.
Hot wings?
Hot wings! As many as he can
I
lay
love
his
him.
grimy little fingers on. Yeah. We
I'm
got a
with you,
little-
Mike. I'm with you.
You know, I asked the waitress over there for a fork not to eat the chicken wings, but to stab Michael when he takes too many chicken wings off the plate. All right, let's see, where are we? David Petroy, one of these days you will see drones taking little pinheads away from the boat. Maybe.
Oh, come on.
AI is taking over everything. Why not? David says sometimes a small plastic that looks like a natural pinhead. There you go. Okay. David says, are drones legal for fishing off the fishing boats? I think they're legal.
I'm sure it's legal.
Unless you're in a restricted airspace area, like military zone.
National park,
Yeah,
national
something
park.
like that. But yeah, I think it's legal. I don't
Totally
know how
legal,
that would work with the I don't know. I'd love to see it happen. Chivo Robledo. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Chivo, good to see you. Godspeed, Danny, in your recovery, says Robert Graver. Matthew Martin. Hi, guys. Great show. Thank you so much, Matthew. When surface iron fishing and when fishing mono, how often do you change out your line to avoid backlashes? Thanks, guys. Danny?
Every trip.
Yeah, you do, too,
I
right?
do. I have bulk spools. I had line winding machines at home, the big ones, but yeah, I change them.
And now with a Top Shot.
It's cheap insurance because you don't know from one trip to the next whether you nicked it on something on the boat or anchor line, whatever it might be, and the line is relatively cheap, and it's not because the one thing when you're hooked on a bigger fish, the one thing you're going to be thinking in your head is that how is my knot? When was I last time I changed my line? Well, that's one thing you don't even have to worry about. Todd, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even on the lakes,
definitely.
Every single day I fish, whether I catfish or not, I changed it because it's going across rocks and everything on the bottom. It gets thick and whether you're fishing or the structure, fishing structure. So, it's getting hit by a branch or whatever it might be. So it's cheap insurance, folks.
Good point on the Top Shot. You don't want to change the braid at all unless you're changing size of the braid.
Yeah,
sure.
But the Top Shot, definitely, you definitely want to.
Yeah, we didn't have special when we were bass fishing, so I would just change it out. But I was, I had bulk spools and the line winding machine at home, so that helped.
All right, Robert Graver says, and then the blue sharks would pick your fish off your floating canyon. Boy, don't get me fired up about those blue sharks, man. I'll tell you, those were the days when you could walk into Sears, as I remember. I was like 18. And just go over and buy a shotgun. And man, I had one for those blue sharks, let me tell you. I know maybe some of you are going to get angry with me, but
we had to have it.
I'm trying to make a living out of it.
I remember, my dad was an RTD bus driver back in the day. And the RTD, they had a charter. They actually went out, and I was like, I don't know, 10 years old.
Yeah.
We went out of Oxnard. And, we had, 5 hooks for the 3-pound weight, the Ganyan deal, catching fish like crazy. But all of a sudden, I don't know, to this day, I don't know what it was. I'm assuming it was bluefin, maybe, that swam right by the boat. We were clueless. And someone actually caught bluefin off of the boat in Oxnard. It was the coolest thing while we were rock caught fishing.
There's a San Pedro.
There you go.
Live fish on our show. We love it. So go ahead. Did you?
Yeah, so they were catching, I think it was bluefin or albacore, I don't know, off of the boat while we were rock caught. I don't know what time of the year it was.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it was,
That's awesome.
And I remember one of the guys, because my dad didn't catch it, but one of them gave him to my dad. My mom didn't know what to do with that fish.
How'd that taste?
I think we fried it. No, probably not.
Well, that was the neighborhood cat.
Long before the sushi days, right?
Yes, long before the sushi days. Yeah.
All right, good stuff, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Jeff Lingle says, I got to run. Danny, best wishes on your surgery.
Thank you.
Sure you will be killing big fish soon. Todd, you are doing some great stuff in our communities with kids. Why don't you tell everybody about that and how they can participate and donate? Because we've talked about it, Danny, you and I, about how not only is it good for the kids that you're helping, but it's good for the volunteers also.
Absolutely. Well, it's a company called Cast for Kids, and the CAST stands for Catch a Special Thrill. And basically, we're bringing a special thrill to kids with special needs.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so it's all about a fishing event. Of course, there are days when, just like us, they don't catch anything, but they still have the time of their lives just out there being in the outdoors.
Sure.
We actually give them a full, it's about a 5-hour day. We start at 8 o'clock in the morning. We fish till about 11. We do awards, and when we do an award, we actually give every kid a plaque. We give them a plaque with their
that's
picture
great.
on it.
That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. It's a catered lunch. It's free, 100% free. It's all volunteers. We use volunteers, and it's you just go to castforkids.org and you can sign up. You put in California. It'll tell you the next event in your area, which in, I think, Cucamonga, we're doing a shore event on September the 27th. And if you know some special needs kids that would love to come to one of our events for free, you have to sign up on Cast for Kids. We do take walk-ins, but we prefer you to sign up through the website. And it's an awesome experience.
Todd, what I would think a nice way to initiate the kids too is I know it's tougher because of the weather, but in the wintertime, and coordinate with Fish and Game and talk to them about, like stockings where they have a great trout stocking because it's simple fishing.
You talking about urban, like?
Yeah, urban
Yes.
lakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't agree with
get
you
them
more.
And it's easy and it's not a technical fishing where, like with the bass.
No.
I mean,
No,
you
that's
know,
awesome.
bass fish, but to have, a power bait or thing and talk to the guys at Berkeley or something, get some sponsors. But, and all it takes is really a 2-pound line. And
Yeah.
you're not worried about any real trophy fish for the most part. I mean, if they have all the stalker fish, if they catch a fish, they're going to be thrilled to death.
Yeah.
And that's where it's all about. That's what's going to hook them. But yeah, maybe as it goes into the winter when the water cools off, and maybe I think it's to Fishing Games benefit also to get all these young youth off the streets and on the lakes and stuff like that. And I think it's doing everybody
Guess what?
a big favor.
It takes about 6 months to put an event together from start to finish. And Danny Kadota just signed
I'll
up
be
as a
there.
coordinator.
I will
He's
be
going
there.
to coordinate
I
our
will be there for
event
him.
because that's how we get our events. And we don't
No,
we don't learn.
absolutely.
I'm serious. We don't pick the dates.
Yeah.
The person that coordinates the event picks the date. So if you say I want to do one on Christmas, we'll get it together and make it happen.
There you go.
But
There you go. We'll figure it
I'm
out.
serious.
No,
we can
hey,
do an event.
I'm in.
100%.
I'm in
Yeah,
because you know what? That's our future, Todd.
yeah, absolutely.
That's
I
our
agree.
future. And if we can save a kid, trust me, I used to get in so much trouble as a kid. It was fishing was dangled over my head for my behavior and my grades.
Yeah.
And that eventually got me into college. The only thing is when I got out of college, my dad didn't figure I was going to go into fishing. But anyway, he got over it.
I was so bad when I was a kid. I did not. My family had tickets to the Jackson 5. I was the only one that didn't get to go. That's how bad of a kid I was. Yeah, true story, 100%. Yeah, 100% true story.
Yeah.
So,
Guys.
but yeah,
I gotta tell you, we've zoomed through an hour here.
Holy
believe it or
smokes.
not. What can I tell you?
wah, wah.
Thank you all so very much. We'll be back on the air in another hour over at Sam's Island Fishing Tackle with Tackle Shop Confessions. Todd, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You're
awesome,
welcome.
brother, man.
Oh,
You
I'll
got
be
it.
back for sure.
Danny, you
Hey,
guys are
Philip,
the best.
you got it, man.
Let's say goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much, everybody.
you, guys.
Hit that like button. Share these videos with a friend. And Dan Lightfoot, you can take us out. Thanks, everybody. Good stuff.